is to be seen suitable for certain fixed career options like teaching, hairdressing, dressmaking, and the hospitality industry, among others. The 21st century Ghanaian woman has become assertive, ready to take up the challenges thrown at her from managing the home and running the office. One such woman is Dr. Bettina Amabuhene Anda. As a child, Dr. Anda started her education at Bishop Bauer School, through to Achimota School, and then to the University of Ghana Medical School. She was appointed the lead in charge of a team of medical officers who were responsible for former President J. Kufuor's health, the first woman in the history of Ghana to attain that feat. During the 4 years she was President Kufuor's physician, she accompanied him on many trips across the country and the globe.
I saw a trait in her, meticulous, open, and thorough. If I complain about anything, she would go about researching where she thought I needed advice from, say, some experts or specialists. She would go and get that expert from. You go for a very senior doctor, you cannot send him or her around to bring all these other experts on board. I found her to be the agency I needed to attend to anything.
After her duties at the presidency, she chronicled her life and work experience in the book, The President's Physician, Bumps on a Smooth Road. The family practitioner and nutritionist is happily married to Mr. K.B. Anda, with whom she has two lovely children, Kweba and Nana Ama. Dr. Anda strongly shares in the late Ghanaian educationist, Dr. Kwejiri Agri's assertion that if you educate a man, you educate an individual, but if you educate a woman, you educate an entire nation. Dr. Anda's story might seem a bit different, as her father, who is a consultant pediatrician, was instrumental in nurturing her love for medicine. However, the absence of practical role models in Ghana makes it difficult for young women venturing in this direction. Recognizing the need to empower the girl child and the desire to address the importance of role models in the life of the young girl in Ghana, Dr. Anda has decided to embark on the Story of Our Lives project.
It's a role modeling project. It's going to be annual, and it involves young women mentoring young girls. I decided on the Story of Our Lives project because I realized that a lot of our young girls tend to have mentors and role models who they've probably never seen physically before, or they haven't come into contact with at all. Because don't forget, our circumstances in this country are such that you cannot necessarily relate those circumstances to people in other countries abroad. So I wanted something that related to our cultural and our traditional settings.
In an era where women are still trying to make a mark in most fields, the aim is to inspire young girls by highlighting practical female role models through the Story of Our Lives projects.
The Girls Education Unit of the Ghana Education Service has kindly agreed to collaborate with us on this project. The resource persons I chose are women between the ages of 25 and 55 who are high achievers, and I must say, not in the traditional professions. My choice of resource people was based on the fact that I wanted young women who can relate to the young girls.
The story of our lives is pretty simple. It's the story of our lives, which we are about to share with other young ladies, to let them put themselves in our shoes, to let them see that there's a positive future, to let them see that they can do what we have been able to do.
I think the young girls today will benefit immensely from hearing what other women have gone through to become what they are.
And I think that it's time for me to share what I have been through with other people.
Because I know what I have benefited from in listening to other women's stories and in building up on their failures, their successes, their challenges, I felt that I also would hopefully influence the girl positively. And that's why I'm taking part in it.
One myth surrounding the adolescent is a discussion around sexual health. It is almost a taboo to discuss the subject of sex in the Ghanaian community, especially in schools and surprisingly in our homes. In collaboration with Ghana Education Service and public health officers, adolescent sexual health will form an important part of the project.
Combining adolescent sexual health and mentorship is also a great idea, simply because we want to start a debate on these two subjects.
Adolescent sexual health is almost a taboo subject. And what I find is that I've sat in a few meetings where they have educated or supposedly educated young girls on their sexual health. However, the people who are delivering have always been very, very minimalist with the kinds of words they use.
At this moment, there's no better way to talk about it than mentoring the girls, letting them know that we've all been through it, and just opening up a discussion about this, a frank discussion.
These girls hopefully would have listened to women speaking very frankly about their lives and their experiences, not just the great things that happened to them, but where they fell and how they rose, how they overcame their challenges. They will see that these women are human beings as well. Now, when we start talking about adolescent sexual health, hopefully they'll be more receptive.
The story of our lives recognizes the need to share the stories of the successes and failures of the mentors with young people, especially girls. The nationwide practical mentorship drive will be held annually, with a maiden event starting in October 2015.
We are going to be visiting all the 10 regions of Ghana, and there are going to be 5 women on each of these trips. So when we go into the region, we're going to be speaking to 200 girls. However, after all of this, we have a website that has been set up that the girls can communicate with us. And we're going to start, obviously, with the Greater Accra region. From Greater Accra, we're going to move to the Eastern region, and from then on to the Volta region. We'll come back to Greater Accra because, as you can imagine, we have to break these journeys. So we come back to Greater Accra, and then from Greater Accra, we go to Ashanti region, go from Ashanti to Western region, and then come to the Central region. Then we have that break in October. Starting from November, we go to Brong-Ahafo region, from there to the 3 northern regions of this country. So we are hoping that by the 3rd week of November, we'll be done with this project. And then we can sit back and assess the work that we've done on these young girls.
Ultimately, the story of our lives hopes to establish the fact that, contrary to some societal views and assertions, females can succeed without sacrificing their morality and virtue.
I would like to raise awareness again about service, about hospitality, about how genuine women can be, girls and women can be in serving and working in hospitality.
I hope that when this project is over, the young girls we interact with would have learned that God gives you an imagination for a reason. I hope that no matter what circumstances they find themselves in, having heard what other women have been through and having heard how they have overcome their challenges, these girls will learn that it's time for them to start dreaming. And not just dreaming, but to take steps to bring those dreams into reality?
I know that by the end of this program, I know that by the end of this program, we will have found a few girls who will take something home and it will transform their lives.
The Story of Our Lives project is a project I'm terribly excited about, and I'm very passionate about the girl child. I gather all of you here are also passionate about empowerment and education of the girl child. And therefore, I would ask you to please contribute your ideas, your time, and most importantly, your finances to this noble cause. Lastly, I would like to thank the Ministry of Education, specifically the Deputy Minister of Education, Honorable Ogujeto Ablakwa, who was so instrumental in us being here today and realizing this project that we've embarked on. I would also like to say a very big thank you to the Ghana Education Service, especially the Girls Education Unit, headed by Mrs. Kate Nuchuga Mikado. She has been extremely passionate about this vision and has helped us to be where we are today. To the girls, I say, you are not second fiddle. Just stay focused to achieve that dream that you've always longed for. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Today, for Dr. Bettina Amaboni and a very, very inspiring video there. The presence of the DCE of Akachi North, James Gunu, who is here with us today. And also the presence of Mrs. Elizabeth De Souza, Acting Deputy Director General in charge of Access and Quality at the GES. Thank you very much for being here. We'll have some more solidarity messages, and the very next one will come from the Obobia Foundation, a representative from that foundation to give us a message. Let's put our hands together.
Your Excellency, the Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, former First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Ministers, all protocols observed. Indeed, I'd like to apologize first of all. I should have introduced the chairperson, but traffic simply won't allow me to get here. I'm proud to be part of this project. The Obobia Foundation is very, very delighted to be part of the story. We wish Menfit Foundation well as they launch this project. This is another testament of touching lives for the benefit of society. And that is our joy and our heartbeat at the Obobia Foundation. We are encouraged by this project and salute Dr. Bettina for this bold decision. Indeed, I am a living testimony of what Dr. Bohine is. One day, I'll tell my story. But to me, if it wasn't for Dr. Bohine, I won't be here today, standing before all of you and giving the solidarity message. Indeed, she has been a blessing to me, and I wish her well. I'll be with her every step on the way, and from all the staff from the Obobia Foundation, we wish her well, and we say God's blessings. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Obobia. Solidarity message, I will invite a representative from the Ghana Education Service. Let's put our hands together for them.
Thank you. Madam Chairman, Your Excellencies, all protocols established, duly acknowledged. I'm here representing my Acting Director General of the Ghana Education Service. Madam Chairman, the driving force behind the Ghana Education, the Girls Education Unit of the Ghana Education Service is the conviction that the salvation of Ghana, indeed many developing countries, lies in the proper education of the girl child. In partnership, the Ghana Education Service, therefore, in partnership with non-governmental agencies and donor partners, has over the years been engaged in a number of programs, including advocacy and raising awareness to tackle the gender gap in education. Programs such as community sensitization, promoting gender-friendly environment, scholarship programs for girls, vacation camps, using role model and mentoring programs through the girls and gender clubs in the schools. These have been put together to improve on access and retention of girls in schools. The latest innovation is related to using sports in increasing retention of girls. There are legal documents, policies, operational guidelines, and working documents that support and guide Ghana Education Service and the Girls Education Unit, for that matter, to operate. The Ministry of Education has collaborated with the World Bank, DFID, UNICEF, and other sector partners to develop girls' participatory approaches to student success, that is the GPAS, to improve upon retention of our girls in the junior high school. The World Bank, through the Secondary Improvement Project, has also supported girls. 60% of our girls and 40% of the boys in senior high school. Then also the Global Partnership in Education Grants is also supporting a number of girls in our primary and junior high schools. Madam Chairman, the challenges of our girls, that is anti-girl child socio-cultural beliefs and practices, irresponsible parenting, girls' vulnerability, to mention a few, has been the lot of our girls. At the moment, the gender parity index in the kindergarten is 1. The primary school is 0.96. The junior high school is 0.90. And in the senior high school, 87. I'm talking about this year. So we've seen that even though we have attained access of our girls into schools, as indicated by the GPI, Gender Parity Index in the kindergarten, the story is different from the primary school. It's really sad that as early as class 4, these girls start dropping out of school. And it goes on. So we see the parity index dropping as the girls proceed in their education. In our recent BEC examination, some of our girls could not make it because they were pregnant. Our doors, therefore, are open to stakeholders to support the Ghana Education Service to improve the parity, the equity, and the quality of education for our girls, especially in the junior high schools and in the senior high school. On behalf of our Director General and our mother, the Minister of Education, we wish to congratulate my dear sister, Dr. Ama, who was with me some few months ago with this project, possibly from being sent by the Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, the Deputy Minister for Education. We wish to conclude by emphatically saying that the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service is in support of the Minfit Foundation in their bid to reach out to 2,000 girls. That is because I had a mother that urged me on, but they were not able to make it. Two brilliant students were really doing well, competing with the boys in those years in the primary school. We hope this move has come to stay and will inspire the girls to aspire to higher levels. The Ghana Education Service and the Girls Education Unit have the pleasure to collaborate with you and give you all the necessary support. Thank you. Congratulations once more. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Elizabeth D'Souza of the Ghana Education Service. Let's put our hands together for this evening's program. And I will invite to introduce our keynote speaker to you, Madame Apia. Let's put our hands together as she walks out.
You're looking around. It reminds me of the fact that Bettina has the knack of bringing together the most amazing group of people. And one of these amazing people is our keynote speaker, and it's my honor to introduce her. Actually, there's a lot of information about her in the program, so I'm not going to read it out. So when you get home, you can read through it. But one line that I think ties in beautifully with this program is the fact that her life's mission is to educate, teach, mentor, and facilitate the transformative interventions that change the lives of victims and survivors of social injustice to positions of leadership. And they're being changed. I changed it up a little bit. But she has been able to do this because she has tremendous experience in education and health, youth engagement, and capacity building of both youth and adults. I cannot say it all. Her speech would say what's left to be said. So ladies and gentlemen, please let's put our hands together for, I don't like the title Madame. So let's put our hands together for Aissatou Diakhaté.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Your Excellency, Mrs. Matilda Amisa Arthur, the Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana. I just love saying that. It sounds so beautiful when women are in leadership, so I had to say that. Distinguished guests, all protocols duly observed. It is with profound gratitude, utmost honor, and deep humility that I stand here this evening at the launch of this noble initiative, the Story of Our Lives project. Profound gratitude because I'm able to stand and talk while other women equally deserving of standing here aren't able to do so for reasons beyond their control. Some may be sick, others may be going through life difficulties. Some may be recovering from domestic violence and abuse. Or they were simply told to just keep quiet. Women should be seen, not heard. I stand here with the utmost honor because Dr. Bohini Anda gave me the opportunity and provided me with the platform to share the story of my life with her audience. I thank you for having me. I stand with deep humility because the story of my life is still being written, and I owe each chapter of the story to my late parents, my only brother, and my 5 sisters. They are my cheerleaders, my support system, and my role models. And of course, I owe the story of my life to my teachers and my mentors. They all have contributed to my life, to writing my story. And if you bear with me, I will tell you how. I lost my dad when I was 12 years old. And I lost, do I need to change mine? I'm fine, okay. I lost my dad when I was 12 years old. And I lost my mother when I was 22 years old. There are many stories and in between, ups and downs, but I will focus on a few for the purpose of this evening. I can tell you with confidence that you do not need many years. You do not need many bank accounts in order to teach, educate, and shape the life of your child or any other child. Whenever I stand on a podium to speak, I pay tribute to my parents for teaching me the importance of discipline, respect, determination, and perseverance. I pay tribute to them for allowing me to be inquisitive, to dare to dream. I pay tribute to my parents for making me believe that my contribution to the world matters. This evening is about the Story of Our Life project. So allow me to indulge and share a few stories that laid the foundation of my life and shaped who I am today. I am the youngest of 7 children. So as you can all imagine, my job was to run errands for everyone in the family. I would be sent around so much that my mom would get upset. And she would say, "That's enough. My daughter is tired, leave her alone," talking to my older siblings. And I would proudly repeat after her, "Yes, that's enough, I am tired." The only errand I would never refuse was the one to the bakery. I love French baguettes. I grew up in Senegal. That explains it. And up to now, bread is my weakness. This is the only thing I never can to manage to cut down or eliminate from my diet. Now, my new friend and sister, Dr. Bohini Anda, can help me with my nutrition plan. You know, if you can be a physician to the head of state, what else can you do? So I rely on you to help with my bread addiction. One day, I was sent to buy French baguettes for our afternoon snack. When I came back, I found my mom and my dad sitting in the backyard. I told them so naively and happily, when I grow up, I am going to marry a baker so he can bake me bread. And you know how African mothers can be dramatic sometimes. My mother stood up and said, "C'est fini. This is it, it's over." This child is too precocious for my liking. Just wait, it gets better. She's only 10, and she's thinking about marriage, and mostly for the wrong reason. You need to learn how to bake your own bread. You see what I tell you about African mothers? Somebody's interjecting. She went on and said, for the rest of your school vacation, I'm going to teach you how to bake. I lost all my playtime learning how to bake. Now, to calm her down, my dad had a different response. He said, well, that's okay. She's studying hard at school. She said her future husband would bake for her. That's great. My daughter is a princess, and she'll make her future husband work for her. Now, that conversation shaped my life. Although I am still not good at baking, I can afford to buy my own bread. I apply that lesson in everything I do. Before waiting for others to bake for me, I either attempt to bake, or better yet, I buy my own bread. As well, I remembered my dad's words that I was a princess and I would pick a man who can bake for me. Now I have added other things to that list, like cooking and cleaning, running to the store for me. He would be very proud in my choice of a husband. I'm able to buy my own bread because my dad also taught me that with hard work, you can become whatever you want. I always heard my dad tell my siblings, you can be whatever you want to be in life. I will not impose a profession on you, but whatever you choose to do, make sure it is honorable, it's dignifying for you and your family. Make sure it can pay the bills so you don't rely on anyone else for that. And mostly, make sure you can help others through what you do. In the short 12 years he spent with me, my dad taught me lifelong lessons. I am forever grateful to him. For dads in the house, future dads in the house, tell your daughters they are princesses, they are beautiful. It helps shape their lives. Trust me. There are so many lessons he taught me that when I talk about him, people forget that we only spent 12 years together. My dad never laid his hand on me or any of my siblings. He was firm. He was a disciplinarian, but he believed that one cannot or should not fear their teacher. According to my dad, I quote him, you respect your teachers, but you don't fear them. When you fear them, the learning stops. He made sure none of us was afraid of him, but we respected him greatly. I still remember that lesson. I respect my elders, my peers, but never to the point of fearing them. When I feel a semblance of fear, I can hear my dad's voice telling me, respect, not fear. To illustrate that learning, I will now share the story of one of the teachers and mentors who prepared me for my professional life. One of the teachers who taught me to push myself, and one of the teachers who taught me that it is okay to be challenged, that it is okay to tell the truth, and it is equally okay to receive the truth. When I was doing my master's degree in Michigan, I had a teacher who was so knowledgeable and admired by all of us international students, because he lived overseas. He lived in Africa, in India, China, you name it. He was a Peace Corps volunteer. So, he was one of our favorites in terms of practical knowledge and substance. But he was so tough, and his marks never reflected what we thought we deserved. You know, students think, I spent all night on that paper. I researched all books. I deserve an A. Not in his class. In class, no one answer was good for him. The students would not talk to each other before his class. If you had a presentation, you'd better know your facts. He would want a quote, a page number, every last detail mattered to him. He would tell you in front of everybody, your analysis was weak. Your analysis was not tight. So, yours truly decided that I would go speak to him on behalf of the class. Because, quote unquote, we were tired of being humiliated. One other student decided he would go with me. And as we neared my teacher's office, he was so afraid, he turned around. I said, where are you going? He said, I can't go. I said, what do you mean? We were in this together. He said, I can't go. I was about to turn, but I heard my dad's voice. Don't fear, respect. So I continued. I respectfully knocked the door. I respectfully entered. And I respectfully waited for him to say, have a seat, and I sat. Then came the question. My teacher would squint. He was so smart all the time. He would look at you in the eyes. He said, Isatou, how may I help you? Then I took a deep breath. The palpitations began, and the diplomacy disappeared. I said, Professor, we like your class a lot, and you are our favorite teacher, but you are very intimidating and scary, and we are afraid of you. And that's why when you ask a question, nobody talks. I literally said it like that, with no breath in between words, because I was scared. He said, I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me more. He came closer to me. He pulled his chair. He said, this is very interesting. I said, well, that's it. I hope you don't fail me, but I want to honor my dad. And he taught me not to fear my teachers, because when I fear them, I stop learning. He said, your dad was right.